Hi, I'm Raquel, and this is Law Librarian Plans. Today, I will be decorating my goals monthly and my goals dashboard. So stick around if you're interested. Let's get started. If you've been following me for the last couple months, thank you so much for joining me. I'm sorry about the hiatus that I had to take this past month. At the end of August, beginning of September, I had a family emergency come up and I had to travel. And so that's what happens. Life kind of gives you a bump. It wreaked a little bit of havoc with my goals, but I did do some goal setting and I posted a photo on Instagram, also Law Librarian Plans, where I was, I basically came up with my September goals because why not, right? I got to plan them and I got to do them. And so I started with stuff that I knew I could start where I was and that I could then continue when I got home. And now I am home. So for today's spreads, I chose the Luxe Living sticker book by Love Posh. I haven't used it in a while and I thought it might be fun to use it again. And what I've done is I've actually selected a set here that I really like, this blue and pink set. And I'm going to be using that. That's going to pose a pretty immediate problem when we're talking about this particular spread, only because we have boxes here. But I'm going to give it a thought and see if I can make this work in this one. And maybe I'll come back to this one after I've decorated the other one. I've also picked this washi from Simply Gilded. I thought it might be nice to have a little bit of matching washi, and it's like a purpley blue. So I thought it was a pretty decent match to the girls, to the blue and the pink that is in this sticker book. So let's come back to this and let's get started with the other one. So I still haven't figured out what exactly I'm going to be focusing on this month. But I am doing a small thing. Actually, maybe that's what I'll do. I'm starting a creative wellness curriculum this month, and this was inspired by one of the Moxie Life folks. She's the digital person, and I'm sorry because I cannot remember her name. I'll try to pop it in as an overlay to the video so that I give proper credit where credit is due. But I love the idea of doing a curriculum. So a back to school idea where you're learning and applying what you're learning, or at least that's how I'm planning to do it. It's going to be learning, but not just learning for learning's sake, also applying what I'm doing in my life. And I honestly could not think of something that actually made sense for me to try to learn at this stage of the game. Not because I don't want to learn, but mostly because I'm a professional. I've been doing my job for about 30 years and I wasn't really interested in something personal necessarily. Like I wasn't interested in going to maybe like, I don't know. I'm trying to think here to give you an idea, like about art or something like that. Not that I'm not interested in those things. It's just, I could not think of a theme that I was incredibly jazzed up to learn about. So what I did instead was I said, okay, well, what am I interested in? And based on what I'm interested in, what can I do with that? And so what I landed on was a ChatGPT chat. And I'm trying to pull it up on my computer so I can tell you more about it as I'm decorating this. So I apologize for the blank screen here for a moment. But let me apply some of this washi. I think I definitely want to separate out. And actually, I want to put it with the dark blue facing up. So I want to put a stripe right here, separating these two sections. And then I'm going to also add some, and I cannot see what I'm doing. This is the problem of sitting down when you're trying to do a spread and you don't have it right in your face, is you cannot see if it's straight, if it's crooked or what. All right, that's pretty good actually. So I went to ChatGPT and I said to ChatGPT, I'm interested in a curriculum for fall and for adult learning. And I'll give you the exact prompt where I started. The prompt where I started was, let's see. I need ideas for an adult curriculum for fall. Ask me questions about my life and interests to help me determine a topic to pursue. So that's where I started with a question. I asked it, you asked me some questions, ChatGPT, and help me figure this out. So then it asked me a few questions and I started answering and hit the return key too fast. And then I went back and refined it. So I said I wanted to read a few books, watch videos, and do some written reflection on my topic. And then it asked me a few more questions and so forth. So let me go now down to where it landed, and I'll tell you what it's all about. So it's a 10-week fall curriculum for creative wellness. There's 3 books that I'm going to be reading this fall. And I'm going to be watching some videos. And then the activities are mostly around creativity and wellness and exercise. So that was pretty great. And then the last part is reflection. So every week there's a reflection question that ChatGPT came up for that week based on what I'm doing. So I thought this is so great. And I am so excited about doing this. And so I said, okay, let's do this. So I think what I'm going to do is my goal is going to be to start work on the creative wellness curriculum that ChatGPT came up for me. So that's where I am. And I'm super jazzed about this. I can't believe it came up with such a great plan. But really, it asked me questions, and it asked me good questions. And based on those answers, it came up with something that it thought would be good. And then I had it exported to a PDF, which I have not printed. So let's be honest about that. And so I am just, I'm going to work on it from, oh my goodness gracious, from the ChatGPT screen, and go from there. And I've already taken care of some of the activities here. So a little bit of this is already done, but that's okay. That is all okay. So next I want to put one of the florals. So I pulled this sticker from the corner here. I want to use perhaps a desk somewhere. So I'm going to leave that there so you can still see it. And I'm going to decide where that's going to go. I'm going to include that girl because, of course, we're going to include that girl. And I love the fact that there's some book-like things here on the bottom of this particular sticker. So that's kind of fun for this curriculum that I'm using. So there we go. I'm going to probably put a quote here about learning if I can think about which book has a quote about that. Then I'm going to use this sticker here with the planner because, of course, there's some planning involved. Thank you, ChatGPT, for doing the hard part of the work, which was great. And it came up with such a great curriculum. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about it as I keep going decorating this thing. So my curriculum starts on Monday. I just came back from my unexpected trip yesterday. And today is basically recording videos and getting myself organized because right now, pretty much, I put everything on hold for 2 weeks. So it's time to get it all done. Let's see. What else do I want to include here? I kind of want to put more flowers here, but then that would be too full of flowers. And then now I have this very large floral that I can't figure out where I want to put it. So I think I'm going to go with a smaller floral. I want to leave some space here to do something else. So let's do that. I love that. Okay. And then, you know what? The floral could look good in this corner. This is my reflection corner. So at the end of the month, I write, I reflect about the major goal, what I call a game changer goal, which is not my original, I think that's passion planner, but I love that concept of like the one goal that would be, the thing that does all the things. And for me, that's the creative wellness that I'm doing, that I'm starting this month. All right, let's see what else. I really want to put this girl somewhere. And right now, I don't want her to be floating, but at the same time, I think she might end up floating. Let me think here. I didn't leave myself much room here. That's probably a mistake, but let me think. I'm thinking if I took this girl here, but I'd had to do kind of some interesting stuff to make it work. So maybe I'll just put her here and pretend that she's sitting here on this washi, kind of, sort of. Yeah, let's do that. All right. I just kind of like the girl, so I wanted to include her. Where else do we need some decorations? We need some decorations here, maybe. Here, I think I'm going to put creative wellness. And then I'll use the priorities, and I'm going to put the check it off portion for some of that. And I just realized I left almost no stickers for the monthly. That was not a smart move. Let me think. I really went all out on this spread and left nothing for the monthly. So I'm going to put that there. I'm going to trim. I just brought it off camera to grab my scissors and trim the bottom here where the desk sticker is sticking out of the page. Let me think here what I need to do. I can put a quote here. I'm going to put something here. What am I going to do in this corner? I just ended up with too much stuff there. I boxed myself into a corner. I don't do that very often, every once in a while. So I think Big Girl is going to move, and she's going to go into the monthly. If I can remove her without destroying this paper, I think I can. All right, very, very slowly. Okay, yep, she's going into the monthly. I need some boxes. I just realized that I did not plan ahead. That's becoming a thing in this channel. I apologize for that. Now that I've been off for 2 weeks, it's like I'm getting started again. It's not a comfortable place to be when you don't remember, when you're not doing things the way that you want to. And now she looks too small. She looked great when she was big, even though she was much smaller than the purse. But I'm going to leave it there for 1 sec. I'm going to move this too because it keeps shifting down, and that doesn't help you or me. Let me grab some boxes. So I'm going to grab some Mojo Jojo boxes in electric blue, which I think is part of her summer sticker book. So I'm going to grab the summer sticker books, and then I need a soft pink, and those would probably be in either the spring or the pastel boxes. So I'm going to grab those and hope for the best, because I do need a few boxes here. So, and of course I'm going to, the first week through the 7th, it's pretty much, it's not happening. So I'm just going to call it off and not worry about it. And it starts on Monday. So, and that's all good. So then I need to find, this pink is okay. So I'm going to use this pink on the left side to label these boxes. So these are the things I'm going to try to do daily. And this, I'm going to put this as a check-in thing in my catch-all so that I don't forget about it, because what happens is you put it on here and then you forget about it, which is what I do. And then you find yourself, oh, wait a minute, at the end of the month, when did I do that? It's a bad habit, but I'm trying to figure out a new way. So I think it's going to go as another checkbox in my catch-all for this month. So let's put this one here like so. And then do I want another pink or do I want a gold? And I think this book has silver, but I'm pretty sure that there's a gold box somewhere. Or do I just do pink? I think I might just do pink because I don't want to have to go look for another sticker. So I'll put pink here to balance out pink, blue, pink. Then on the opposite side, I'm going to do blue, pink, blue. So I'm going to go back to this book and hope that I have enough of those blue boxes. And if not on that one, I definitely have them in the other book. Let's see. You can see where I had whited out because my lovely dot markers went through the page. I wasn't paying attention, and that's what happens. Let's find a pink one. And I don't have a lot of room around where I am filming, so I apologize for having things off screen, but that's what allows me to actually have everything close by. So we'll do a pink one, and then we'll do another blue one. Okay, this is working out fine. I'm glad I was able to hide most of that white out. All right, so I'll put here my top 3 priorities, which are gonna probably be mirrored by something here. And then we need some, I'm gonna keep these boxes here to use them in my monthly. This is okay. So the next thing I do need some letters, and I need some quotes. So I'm gonna get up and get some quotes and some letters. So for my quotes, I'm gonna go to Kelva Plan Rainbow Quotes. And for my letters, I'm going to go also to Kelva Plan. I'm going to grab the Alpha Basics. I think Alpha Basics 4. No, not 4. Maybe 3. Is the one that had a lot of smaller letters. Yep, that's the one I want. Because otherwise I won't be able to fit my title on this page. So, so I think I'm going to put I'm going to try to fit creative wellness there. We'll see if it actually works. And I'm looking through this book. See, this book has smaller letters than most of her books. I love the big letters though. I use them all the time. Those are not bad. They're not the best match. But let's see. Oh, that's right. They're in rainbow order. So let's see. So I think I'm going to go with these blue letters. They're not a perfect blue, but it will work. So I'm going to grab a ruler and I am going to place my letters on the ruler. So these little ones are perfect for when you don't have a lot of room, which is my situation here on this page. And creative, let's see. I am very slow. But as I've told you, if you're a returning person, you've watched my other videos, I don't edit my videos substantially because I want you to see how long it actually takes to do these things. So, and I don't know about you, but I speed up my videos so then I get this false sense of, oh yeah, this is going to be fast. No, because edited videos, you know? So I love that people edit them and I appreciate that they edit them, especially the longer ones that are edited. Because they're done thoughtfully and done well. If I try to edit stuff, you know, substantially, I think would be in trouble, and I would never be able to do anything else. So, creative, I think that's gonna fit well there. Creative wellness. So we're gonna put the word wellness. Actually, let's put the word creative down first. Oops, there's some goop there on the page. So we're going to put here creative wellness. Creative right there, give or take. And I know my ruler is very crooked. So let's see if I can line it up with the lines on the page. And my letters are very crooked. So bear with me. I'm going to flip this page upside down. And I'm going to flip my ruler upside down and then try to get my letters to be more or less where they need to be. That R is super crooked. I can see that. So I'll probably fix that after I remove the ruler. Oops, no, the letter E is trying to go away and the letter A is trying to walk away. All right, so I'm going to put this back. And since I don't love the placement, I'm going to use some tweezers. And I'm going to move each of those letters manually because the ruler is too big. And I just didn't do such a great job. So I want to just get this done properly. Or rather lined up properly. But I do like these letters. And they're a close enough match that it doesn't bother me a lot. Would prefer if they were like dark, bright blue like the rest of the blues. But beggars can't be choosers. So we're going to just do what we can with what we got. Creative. And I probably have Happy Planner letters that match, but again, I'm trying not to waste too much time hunting down things. You shouldn't have to suffer for my lack of planning. What, you say you're supposed to plan? Yes, you are. Creative, okay. And then now that I know, I'm just going to flip this page upside down because it's much easier for me to do this with the letters than try to do the ruler trick. Especially in a small space. Creative Wellness, W. We're going to put the W right here. All right. I hope it's going to fit. And I'm hoping I'm going to be able to grab another one of these books as I'm starting. I'm always afraid I'm going to run out mid-word. These are the only books. This and fitness books are the only books that I'm buying multiples of these days, because they are things that I use all the time. I don't even buy boxes multiples, even though I use them all the time. And mostly it's because most of the boxes that I've bought have been in big sets where I have tons and tons and tons of options. So I'm unlikely to run out of boxes anytime soon. So let's see. WN. Okay. See, much faster this way. E, and then 2 S's. Much, much faster. Wellness. And I think I'm going to put the word launch maybe, because it starts this month. It goes on for 10 weeks. So it ends, I believe, November 17th is what timeanddate.com calculated for me, which I think is perfect because it ends with about 6 weeks before the end of the year. So at that point, I probably at some point before then, I will start doing my goal planning for next year. And I'm hoping that this is going to inform something to do. What I'm probably going to do is I'm going to try to come up with one for every season. That means 10 weeks out of, every 13 weeks or so. And then 3 weeks for like planning, like quarterly planning. I think that's pretty good. That is horrendously bad because these letters, guess what? I'm going to fix that later. I can spread this out a little bit more so that they match. So the last thing I wanted to put was launch. So let's see. I think I have enough letters for that. And yeah, so I'm going to launch my creative wellness curriculum this month. And I'm super excited about it. So let me, oops, there goes my ruler. Let me see if I can see the screen again. I didn't pay attention to my screen and it locked. So, whoops. Let's see. Oh. Okay. So the 3 books that I'm going to be reading are Keep Going by Austin Kleon, The Joy of Movement by Kelly McGonigal, and How to Eat by, and I'm going to murder this name because it's, I believe, Vietnamese, Thich Nhat Hanh. All of these books sounded very, very interesting from their description. I was able to grab one of them from my public library, and then actually 2 of them from my public library, one in audio form and one in ebook form to read on my Kindle. To read on my Kindle. And then the 3rd book I was able to get for like $5 on Amazon. So I was very excited about that, for my Kindle. So that was kind of great. But yeah, so those are the 3 books. And I'll give you a sense of what it came up with. So one of the things it came up with for the first week is a TED Talk by Elizabeth Gilbert. So it has 1 chapter of the Keep Going book, a TED Talk, and then take a 20-minute walk and notice color, shapes, sounds, sketch or jot 3 things you noticed. So see, that's the creative part right there. And then the reflect, what do I hope to gain from this season of learning? So like I said, it was all ChatGPT came up with this, and I'm so thrilled because it's actually, I read through the whole curriculum and it made so much sense for me for what I want to achieve, with my focus on learning and health and nutrition. I thought, oh, wow, this is really something else. So I'm excited that I actually took care of that. All right. So the Creative Wellness Launch is what I'm going to call it. Then what else do we need here? I need a quote for this. I think I need a decor for that corner, even though I really don't want to use up any more of that deco, but I'm going to have to. And I'm going to apologize because I just turned on my fan. It is insanely hot in this room right now, and I am melting. And eventually what's going to happen, it's going to go onto my page, which I don't want. So Anyway, where were we? So, yeah. So let me see if I can find a quote. And sadly, all the quotes are kind of snarky. The quotes that match in this book. That doesn't mean that there isn't a quote in this book. So I'm going to look in this book. And the blue, oh, there is, oh, that's a really good one. The only real purpose of a goal is to make you fall more in love with life. I like that. And it's the right color. It's a little bit small, but I think it's a good quote to put there. So, and that's what I'm hoping is, you know, fall more in love with life. I love my life, don't get me wrong, but every once in a while, it just kind of, you need to spice things up. So I'm going to put that one there. That works. What am I going to write up here? I think here I'm going to write why I'm doing this. Perhaps that reflection. What do I hope to gain from this season of learning? I think that's a perfect thing to put there. And then I think this is done. So let's go back to our monthly. Because now that I think this needs something else here. I need to think about that. Usually I put a quote there, but I don't know if I want another quote. I don't want more text when I have text right here. So I think if I have any decor left after I decorate this, then I will definitely put some there. So what am I going to do with this? So as I said, I was away this whole week through Friday, and today is catch-up day. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm just gonna, I'm gonna drop my washi. Now, after I drop my washi, I'm just gonna block this off. This is time that's already gone. It's past, but it's a reminder that I did not do anything with my goal here, and I didn't make that long enough. But again, doesn't matter much. I just want to mark that off somehow, that I was unable to do anything with my goal. And then I will mark this one off too. I'm gonna try to get it kind of on the same, yep, that's about the same height there. And then the piece that I missed on that side is on this side. As you can see, it's a little bit longer than it should be. But again, it's not a matter about sweating, it's more about, you know, getting it done. All right, so then what I think I want to do, oops, and my screen just went blank. I think I'm gonna put the titles of the different weeks on the Mondays. I think that's a good way of marking that. So I'm gonna start with the pink. I'm back in my pastel boxes. And do I have enough pink big squares? I do not, but I know where I have more, so I'm gonna grab those. Fortunately, Mojo Jojo Plans also makes pastel boxes, monthly pastel boxes. So that will save me from the one that I don't have in the other book. And I'm hoping I do have a navy one for, oh, I need two navy ones. Fun. All right, so here I have 1 and 2. All right, perfect. So we're gonna alternate the colors. I'm gonna put one here, like so. And these are gonna be the titles of the weeks, and I'm gonna write down the titles of the weeks in the boxes. And I'm trying to think how else I can tie this to the rest of the of this creative wellness game changer goal. So the goal here is primarily to go into this and you know, to stick with it and do a good job with it and really embrace this season of learning. So let's cover that and put a pink monthly box here. If you have a chance to grab these from Mojo Jojo Plans, they're perfect, exactly perfect for the Happy Planner sticker books, measured to perfection. All right, so I put those, and then I'm gonna look in my summer boxes again and look for the squares. And I have only one in this book, but I have a second summer book that has the same boxes. So I'm gonna grab my scissors if I can find them, which I've already used once, and I put down, and then you put them down, and then you can't find them in the pile of stuff. All right, so I found them. Here's my sticker. And where did that little corner go? Because that little corner that I put on the paper is exactly perfect to help me measure what I want to do. And the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to just put it here like so. And it's just to give me a sense, and I don't know if you can see that, but I put it at the very end of how far I need to cut, because otherwise I'm going to get this too big. So there, I think I cut exactly the right square. I'm going to show you a little trick. I think it'll work with this. We'll see if it works. But I figured out. So I just made my own monthly box, but it doesn't have a blue edge. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to take that edge that I just cut off, and I'm going to use it. And see, this is not a monthly box, not the same size as the monthly boxes. So it might not work as well, but I do want to give it an edge. See, it's a tiny bit smaller. Again, the genius of Mojo Jojo Plans to have come up with a box that's exactly perfect. I don't think there's summer boxes in the monthly. And what I do is I'm going to cut, whoops, there goes my washi. I'm going to actually cut the white part off. So bear with me while I take this off camera, because I need to be able to see it. I want to cut it just exactly right to take off the white part. See, and there's only blue left, or mostly only blue left. So now I'm going to grab that little corner and I'm going to put it right here. And see, not quite perfect, but pretty close. So if I put it exactly right and then pull this one over like so, see, it made a solid edge from the corner that I cut. So pretty good. So now let me grab my other summer boxes, which is 2.0, but Summer Boxes 2.0 has that same red, white, and blue. The silver is has like oh my goodness, can I speak or what? It's a holographic star pattern. So I have my box here, right? And then I'm gonna take my little pink box to just put it right there to remind me where I'm gonna cut. And I didn't do it very well with the tweezers this time. So I'm gonna put it there. So it's just to give me the measurement of what I'm cutting off. Okay, I cut that a tiny bit too long, but that's okay. Okay, so I have my corner that I'm going to reuse. Oops. Oh, that was the center of that other one that I cut off. See, all right. That's what happens with little bits of sticker that you leave hanging around, or that I leave hanging around. It ends up stuck to me somehow. All right. I have that corner again. So hopefully I did this right. And I'm going to cut the white part off. This time I'm going to stick it to my hand so I don't lose it and ends up on the spread somehow. And then once again, line it up. And now my box is bounded and it looks similar. You know, it's obviously much smaller. Well, not much smaller, but it is smaller. So it's not going to be as great as the original monthly box, but it's going to do. And that's what we care about, is that we have a good enough option here. So I'm going to return that little bit, because this is a bullet. It's a square bullet, but it's a bullet. So I'm going to return that to the page in the pastel boxes, so I remember to use it some other time. It will come in handy, I'm sure. All right, so I've done that. So then in these boxes, I'm going to write the titles. And if you bear with me, I will grab a pen and write them in right now. So let me grab some decent markers. And I'm just pulled out my click art markers so that I can use those. So they're right here. I have the blue one, and then for the pink one I'm going to use a slightly darker pink, because that shade of pink is going to be illegible. So in the first week, I am going to write, and I'm going to match them this time. I think I usually like to contrast, but we're gonna go ahead and use that. So beginning with intention. Whoops. I tried to write another B. With intention. And then the second week is joy in movement. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. I am so excited. See if I remember how to write. Then week 3 is nourishing with awareness. I am so pumped. And I haven't decided how I'm going to use this monthly. I may try to come in and give myself a star or something every time I do something. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. And then week 4 is creative. Whoops. Let's use a whiteout because when I write too fast, I make mistakes. If I slow down, I can do a little bit of a better job. So creative energy. Okay, I love that. All right, so now I've written my titles for the whole 4 weeks. And what I might end up doing, I haven't decided yet, but what I might end up doing, I don't know, do I want to put, in some ways I kind of want to put all the titles here, but I have them all in ChatGPT and I have them in a PDF because that's the great thing. ChatGPT actually said, do you want a PDF of this? I'm like, yes, please. So, it really is something, I will say. I am a very slow adopter of technology. I love technology, but I have a healthy dose of skepticism. And not because I think technology is not going to work. I actually know that technology mostly works, but mostly is like, is it going to work for me? Right? And so I have a healthy dose of skepticism about technology working for me. And so I tend to adopt things much later than many people. So I opened my Facebook account, I want to say, in 2011. And the only reason I opened it was because I wanted to start a Facebook account for work. And I knew very little. I mean, I knew about it, but I had not started, my own. And I thought, oh, okay, well, maybe I should start my own and, get a sense of how this thing works before I actually, try to create something for my office. And so that's what I did. So I don't know why I care so much about the lines here where I'm going to be blocking them somewhere else. But anyway, I like her. She's looking into the future and she's seeing something good. So I like her there. All right. What else can I do with this? What else can I do decoratively with this? Let's move all the extra sticker books. And I think I'm going to have to perhaps, it's too bad there's only 2 pages and I kind of went crazy. I am going to use this to record stuff. So I think maybe what I'll do is, I'm thinking here. Actually, this washi should have continued to the end. So I just realized that because I'm not starting until next week. So bear with me while I flip the page. And now I can match it up here and get it all the way to the end, which I didn't manage to do before. So let's do that. So this is the forgotten week. And I didn't do it again. Look at that. I still left a gap. It takes a special talent to do that, folks. It takes a very, very special talent to do that. I am going to put this floral here because I like it and it works. And then I'm trying to think, maybe I'll use the rest of the decorations on the page because I am on this kick of trying to finish sticker pages. So I'm going to cut off some of the edges so that it fits in the box. So, and also the bottom edge so that it kind of sort of sits on the line. So let's put this here like so. Not quite, but you get the idea. All right, then how about the boxes don't fit? So this is what I got left from this page, those three. So let me take that page out. I'm gonna save the other page for another spread some other day. So I think I'm gonna put this vase right next to her. I'll cut the bottom edge, sit it on the edge like so. And I do realize I pretty much blocked off the entire 27th. And I'm not gonna worry about it. Maybe I'll just dot the dates. That could be it. I could do clear dots or something, or colorful like pink dots or something on the dates. That would work. All right, then we're gonna grab this washi. I'm gonna put it floating because why not? All right, and we have only a couple more things left. So we're gonna use the boxes. Not there. I'm gonna cut the bottom here. And bear with me one more time because I'm gonna go grab a dot marker or a couple dot markers, and I'm gonna put the whole spread of the 10 weeks of the program on the left hand side. And I'll probably write it in pink, do the dots in blue and do the writing in pink, so I don't have to like switch colors every other line. So let's see. Where could we put this? We could put this here. I'm gonna cut the rest of the edges, so I'm just basically trimming this down a lot so that it fits well on the box where I want to fit it. I will say that it almost doesn't make me mad, unless the sticker is super intricate, to have a big edge like that, because it's more room for error. So I'm gonna put this one here like so. All right, and I still have a clip. So I'm gonna use up that clip. Yay, hooray, I used up a whole page. I love doing that. And you know what? I almost wanna put the clip behind the planner, but I won't. I will be a sensible human and not try to create a layer thing that really shouldn't be layered. At least not with these stickers. If it was intended, it would have been created with a paper clip in it. All right, so there we go. And what I'll do is I'm gonna grab my tweezers. If I find them, I found them. Yay! So I'm gonna remove this here. And perhaps what I might do is, I'm trying to think if I finish the first book. I don't know. I gotta think about how I'm gonna use these boxes, because it seems like a shame to let them kind of go to waste. So I'm trying to think. If you have any ideas, pop them in the comments. But I'm hoping to really use these in a functional way related to the challenge that I'm doing, or the creative wellness curriculum. So if you have any ideas, let me know. Because these 10 dots here will be like, how do I get this started, right? And I already did some of it. So I ran it in ChatGPT. I bought my books. I created the schedule. So I've started doing it. So some of those things are already done, but I'm going to put the rest of the steps to sort of get this launched well this month. All right, like so. There we go. So we used up every single sticker on this page, and I'm delighted. Let me grab some dot markers, and I'm going to finish this up, and that will be the end of the video. So as I wrap this up, do you think you might be interested in doing something like that? A creative, wellness curriculum? What would you put in your curriculum? I'd be curious to know, because we all learn differently and we all have different interests. And I'm always fascinated by what people, want to learn and do and stuff like that. So I'd love to know what exactly you would put in an adult curriculum. It doesn't have to be a wellness curriculum. That's my curriculum. But if you wanted to do something of the sort, what would your focus be? And ask ChatGPT to help you out. So I'm gonna put 1. That blue is not even close. 2, 3. And I put these too close to each other. I do realize that. 5. I have plenty of room, and yet 6. I let myself think. 7, 8, 9. Ooh, guess what? We have the plastic here, 10. So I didn't put them too close at all. That was completely intended. And I don't know why I picked up the pink dot markers. So I'm gonna put week 5 is movement as connection. So I'm gonna grab this and I'm gonna write movement as connection. And then week 6 is eating with gratitude. I really, really love this. I've never been so jazzed about somebody else coming up, in this case, ChatGPT, with a curriculum. Finding inspiration. I'm going to write inspo because I'm out of room. And then number 8 is resilience and movement. And week 9 is everyday creativity. And week 10 is integration and celebration. I cannot believe this is so stinking great. I've read it already a few times, and every time I read it, I'm like, wow, this is great. Beginning with intention, joy and movement. I would love to find a quote about learning, nourishing with awareness, and creative energy. All right. I don't know what else. I'm kind of having this whole, I want to make this more decorated, and I'm going to stop now because otherwise I'm going to keep going all day on one spread. But here you go. So here is my monthly in my goals planner as I start my creative wellness curriculum. And then here is my game changer goal pages, dashboard, where I'm going to set the steps to launch this creative wellness path. I am going to write a few things about why I'm doing this. This is the prompt for week 1. So I'm going to actually write the answer here. And then the priorities are going to go here about the creative wellness launch. And finally, some reflection about that first month. So there you have it, folks. If you like this video, please give it a like button, give it a like. And if you want to see more of my videos, hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for joining me and have a great day. Bye.